Hello and welcome to ErfDragon Art. So we're now at part 5 of my Frankenstein's monster. I know it's been a bit of a long journey and it is an older piece, so again I do apologise for any of the poor quality of the video, but it was filmed quite some time ago via my phone while airing on YouTube, on Facebook. But I've done my best to sort of smarten it up, but we're now on the 5th part of this where we're going to be working the eyes and a little bit of the scarring. So hopefully you'll enjoy this video, but again do stick with it because I will be refining this piece right at the end, but I'll do it in a different way so it'll be a lot clearer. So let's just roll the tape. Good evening everybody, welcome to hopefully the last part of my Frankenstein. Yeah, so I've been doing a number of Halloween characters. I'm currently working on Frankenstein, which you can see in the background, and my ultimate goal is to... Thank you very much, Joey. Appreciate that, mate. I hope you like. As I said, I've been just working on some Halloween characters, and currently I'm just going to try and finish off my Frankenstein picture, just to show you what it looks like at the minute. So far, this is how he's looking at. Quite frightening, which is kind of the point. But I had a nice little happy accident with the face to give it a bit of some interesting tonality. I feel like I've got the muscles a bit more. I need to work on the hands a little bit. They're not quite right, so I need to work on those a bit. But everything else so far, I'm really happy with how he's come along so far. Just to give you a bit of a close-up look to this dude. So tonight I'm going to be working mainly on the brain matter, the hair, and the bolts on the side of his neck. But before I go into that, let me quickly show you the angel picture I've been working on recently, which is this chap here, all in pencil. I feel like it's the first picture where I've really genuinely got all the proportions in the right place, and I think he's coming on quite well. He's still got a little bit of work to go, but I'm really quite pleased at how he's looking at the minute. So a bit more work on him, but that's just a side project. Okay, so first of all I need to get the right layer that I'm looking at. We've done the chest, so we've done the skin. Okay, so we're now into the head. In fact, I'll just realize I've got the eyes as well. So let's start, since I'm on the eyes bit, let's start there. So we're going to zoom into the eyes. And I can think the first thing I need to do is just to tidy up the eye pieces first, because particularly this eye here, it looks a bit off. So, and I think that is the retina bit, yeah. If anyone's interested to know, I'm using brushes from a gentleman called Jazza. He's created his own custom brushes, and I've been using them extensively. I found them to be, particularly for my style of work, the best brushes to use, really. I found these ones to be the right depth and right consistency. And so these eyes need to be further down. So these need to be underneath the skin area. So we'll just shift it down a bit. So I want the yellow, I want the eyelids to look, although he's a monster and doesn't need to be accurate, I just want him to look, the eyes to at least look like a proper eye socket. They don't, basically want the picture to blend in together, so it looks like it looks as it should be. Hopefully this will be the last part of this this character. But for some reason, as I said, even though I've got it underneath the skin, it seems to still be visible in the wrong place. But I hope you'll be a good pupil. What I'm doing right now is I'm just trying to fill in all the gaps on here. For some reason though, it's showing through some of the other background pictures, which isn't great. Because I just want the eye sockets to not, because if you look closely, they look like they're all dashes and a bit jagged. So I'm trying to get rid of that jaggedness from them. I'm going to try and see if I can make the some of the elements invisible. Now you might see there's some black coming from where they, from the background popping in. That's okay, because I'm gonna, on the next bit, I'm gonna be painting the colour of the eyes in anyway, so that's not going to be a big issue. We're going to start with the eyeball. I'm going to take the colour, make that a little bigger. I'm just going to fill in the gaps now. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do on the eyes is we'll start in with the eyeball itself. And we'll do what I've done with all the others, which is to select the colour and give a little mask. So, colour range, pick the colour. I think that kind of works. But what it does mean, it means I need to add a bit more colour on the actual skin itself. So make it a bit darker. And the reason I'm doing this is because it's just to mix it together and blend, so it doesn't look quite so separate. To be honest, this guy is Frankenstein's monster anyway, so it can be as jaundiced as it wants to be. If it was a different character, I'd probably be a bit more worried about it. The eye being 100%, but I feel like I need to add a bit more yellow into it. So I'm going to get my my normal brush again. I think I can afford to put a bit of extra darkness into the eyeball, so I'm going to add a little bit extra shade. Right, now this next bit is going to be a bit more interesting because it's the retina. At least I think, if my geography, if my biology's right, and I want to try and make it not only circular but also add some level of what's the word I'm looking for here? Give it that gaseous kind of effect. But first, again, as before, I just need to choose the colour. That's it, perfect. Your mask, so group. Have a layer mask and another layer. Okay, so I need to. For some reason, it's hidden too much of the eye, so I need to just fix that first. This brush here It's called a hair and fur brush. And basically, just to show you, it draws lines like that. Now the purpose I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this across the eye, make it a bit smaller, into the centre of the eye. And I'm going to try and do it really heavy. It doesn't seem to be... In fact, let me change the flow a bit. There we go. And what I'm basically doing is, I don't know if you've ever looked at your pair of eyes, yours or anyone else's, really closely, but it's kind of like there's all these little lines. In fact, that line's not quite right. There's all these little lines that appear in them. So what I'm just doing, I'm just trying to put some lines in there. But I've got to make sure that they actually are going to the centre of the eyeball, you know, where the pupil is. Do the same here. Probably doesn't look much. It probably looks really silly at this point. But after a few touches, it should start to. If you've seen any of the YouTube videos I did for the competitions, with the Jazza competitions, you'll probably see one where I've done this one. I believe I've also, there is a post on one of my Facebook pages for it. Okay, now I'm going to go right the opposite way, make it really bright. You can probably see what I'm talking about now, where your eyes just look like they've got those little lines in it. Those sort of, I don't even know what you call it. I mean, somebody who's probably a bit more medically minded might know what I'm referring to. But I'm going to do it going out from the eyes. In fact, I'm even going to make it smaller. You might notice it's not going over the black dot. And that's purely because it's on a different level, different layer. Now you can probably start to see it's starting to look like actual eyeballs now. Still got a few bits to go, but it should start looking like a normal standard eye. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm keeping the lines as fairly straight as possible. Right, so what I'm going to do now I'm happy with those, I'm going to merge those two together. Or those few together, and I'm going to add a middle layer. I think I'm going to add like a greenish cloud, so I'm going to pick a fairly decent greenish colour. Yeah, and I've got this unique cloud brush that I did. Now I'm just going to remember how to find it. And this cloud brush, believe it or not, was created from a photograph that I took of some clouds. Some of this is a bit experimental. It looks like I'm spoiling it, but if this works, it should make a nice effect. So the last thing I'm going to do on this guy is I'm going to add a bit of a shade on the characters. I don't know about you, but they look like, it's starting to look like a bit crystallised now. Right, so I'm fairly happy with that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a little bit of shine on it. And although I could go for green, I'm just going to go straight white. Okay, so that's the eyes nearly done. Just got to do a little bit of work on the actual pupil itself. Right, so that's the eyes there. You can see they kind of look. You need a bit more darkness on here. So so this is how the faces look at the moment. And I think those eyes are they really stand out quite nicely, I think. So I think that works quite well. And let's do some more dodge and burn, I think. But this time in the actual socket, because I haven't done that bit. There we go. Oh, that brings that part out quite nicely. Again here. Yeah. That looks good. Some dodge. Again, not too much. Now I think that worked quite well. Okay. Right, I shall do. So that's the eyes done, I think. So what's the next thing we could do? Done the skin. Right, next thing we've got is the scars. Start with this one here. So this is the dark part of the scar. So I'm going to do again, select colour range, pick the colour, that's it. And hopefully this should give a bit more of a sense that there's a hole in his face. Again, it's still quite creepy, but I know these pictures are a bit dark. I mean, don't worry. I mean, once the Halloween's over, it will all turn to Christmas. It won't be so dark. So, so if you are wondering, this is very dark. It will change. It will change. Yeah, I'm definitely going to finish soon because I'm also getting hungry as well. So. I mean, to be fair, because the stitches and stuff aren't painted properly yet, it doesn't look fantastic. But as I do the stitches and start to fill that in, it should start making him look just a bit more decent. Now I need to clean up some of this because it's got this. What is that thing there? I think I can go straight. In fact, actually, there was one little bit here that needed some work. Now I'm going to need to zoom in, not too heavily, but fairly heavily on this because it's going to be very difficult to get in there because these are very, very small. Funny how you have plans to do a whole lot and because of the intricacies of pictures like this, it takes a lot longer than you would think. There are probably techniques, as I said, that you could probably do to make this process faster. But I think as I grow as a digital painter, I hope to learn these techniques much quicker. But I will say this: if it weren't for the blurring that I was doing, I'd still be blending it all. And the blur tool, the Gaussian blur tool is actually quite helpful because it's, providing I've layered the colours on right, it mixes them together quite effectively without too much effort. And it's not a case of just being lazy. It's just I want to do this thing. I want to get this thing done. Now Halloween literally, well, less than a week away. Don't have a lot of time to really finish this done as I want. That said, I kind of knew this picture would take a little bit. Would take a little bit of time. Well, I think that is it for tonight. So what we've done, although I wanted to do a lot more work on, you know, the hair, the bolts, and everything else, the priority was obviously getting the eyes right and getting the scars as well. Still got to work on the mouth, we've still got to work on the bolts, still got to do the brain matter and the hair, but I think the results are showing themselves to be quite effective. Once I've done this guy, I might just do my zombie very quickly and possibly a Dracula very quickly as well. But it's literally just me just colouring. I'm not going to probably do as much detailing as I have with these guys. Do tune in for the next episode. So that's part 5 completed. We've got a couple more parts left to go. I know it's been a long journey, but I do appreciate you sticking with me, and the fact you're here listening to me right now shows that you are enjoying it, so I'm really pleased about that. As I've said, the quality of the artwork and both my skills at the time and also the way in which I recorded the footage, it isn't the best, but when I finish this particular part of the project, I will be going back and refining the character. I'll be recording it in a better way, but also I'll be using my newly acquired anatomy skills to try and really sharpen him up and make him look a little bit more natural, shall we say, even though he's an unnatural character. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this session today. If you did want to support the channel, I have signed up to buymeacoffee.com. Any proceeds will go towards improved lighting and equipment to help make these videos much better as we go forwards. Obviously there's no obligation, but any support you do give will be very much appreciated. Secondly, I do have a bricks channel where I do mostly Lego, but there will be the odd thing that isn't quite Lego, but you'll see as we go along. Feel free to jump in and check that out. And I do sometimes put vlogs on my holiday channel as well, so if you do want to kind of catch up with what's going on in my channels, do jump in there. However, I don't often post on that channel, but when I do, I try to give you a bit of an update of where I'm at with the channels going forward. If you are enjoying this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Really helps support me and shows me that you are enjoying the content. Secondly, there's a subscribe button and a notification bell. If you want to keep up to date with the next episode of this particular series or any future series, be sure to tick that. And until next time, I'll catch you later. Bye bye now. Over to you to close out, Frank.
Wow, can't fly, who would have thought? Well, if you want to see part 6, click that notification bell and subscribe. I'll put that all backwards. I like.